Hey guys, it's Nike here. I wanted to give you a build that we've been using lately in some of our record runs that we've been doing. In a record run with a warrior, you don't necessarily want to be going for the max personal DPS. You have to think about what's going to give your team overall the most DPS, whether that's you being max damage or whether it's you buffing your teammates. So this is sort of the build we used. We developed it for our Twilight Arbor forward record, and we'll probably end up using it moving forward. This is a build, it's good for pugging, and it's also good for organized groups to even have a warrior running this. It'll boost your total team DPS pretty substantially, and so I thought it would be awesome to share with you guys, since I know some people want to try a little bit more supportive build and be a little less cookie cutter outside the meta, so to speak. So this is it. We'll start with gear. It's full Zerker and Scholar runes, as you can see. Nothing really crazy there. It's still a DPS build at heart. It's going to be pure axe, so you're going to have one axe with Sigil of the Night and a mace with Sigil of Force. And you can have anything you want in this swap side. We were using Greatsword on swap just for the mobility, for the rush and the whirlwind, so that we could move through the dungeon faster. But since you're not really using fast hands in this build, as we'll see, you can use something like a range swap. The longbow I like because it has access to a fire field to help your team stack might, and it's got decent burst, and it's just a nice utility to have. So you can really use anything that's convenient there. You could use a Warhorn offhand if you wanted as well. I would highly recommend that, actually, for Fractals. As far as stacking goes, we stack accuracy with this build because it doesn't have a great deal of precision. Accuracy gets us, with 25 stacks, it gets us to a base of 55% chance to crit. With Fury and Banner of Discipline, as you'll see, we're up to a pretty respectable 83% chance to crit, which by no means anywhere close to the meta, but still pretty decent. If you use some crit food, you can get up to like 87, 88. And in a more supportive build, that's kind of the direction you want to be going. To get as high as you can, but still able to dish out the damage. Obviously, the trinkets are all going to be Berserker, and best in slot that you can get. Onto the traits. This is where things get a little different. We're going to have the normal 30 in strength. We're going to take dual wielding, Axe Mastery, and Berserker's Power. These are the standard DPS traits. This is going to keep your damage as high as it can, but still being supportive. We're going to go 10 in arms for Rending Strikes. Rending Strikes in a build like this is worth, against bosses, about 3 stacks of vulnerability. So you're giving your team, by going 10 in arms, an extra 3% overall damage. I know a lot of previous people that have done Empowered Allies builds have gone to 20 in Discipline and 0 in arms, and I think this is a big mistake, because 10% crit damage, while it's nice, isn't as good as 3% damage boost to your entire team. 3% to your entire team is just humongous. I mean, that's like a 15% total team boost, and that 15% would be a lot better than your personal damage increasing by 10% crit damage. So we don't need to go that far into Discipline. I think people who have previously done that have made a mistake. So that's sort of the new thing about this build, is going 10 into arms. In Tactics, we have Empowered, extra damage for every boon on you, and Empower Allies, 150 points of power for everyone in your party while you're in combat. Basically, it's what makes the build worth running. The Empowered Allies on your team, depending on how much might you have, works out to be anywhere from like a 5 to an 8% overall boost for your whole team. The less organized your group, the more of a pug you're in, the stronger that Empowered Allies becomes, because you're not so good at stacking might. In an organized group, it's still a 5% DPS boost, and that's still enough when multiplied by all 5 people in your party to make it worth bringing when you're going for the absolute fastest runs you can get. So what's sort of interesting about this build is that not only is it a really good pug build in that it'll increase your pug DPS quite a bit, but it's also a really good build for super organized fast groups that are trying to set record runs and want the max DPS that they can possibly get. And in Discipline, we're going to take Signet Mastery. This is going to give us just Signet cooldown. You could also change that out for Warrior Sprint if you are finding yourself in situations where you need Battle Standard, which is quite often, actually, a lot of different instances. So you can change that to Warrior Sprint, change this to Battle Standard, and you're good to go. Additionally, if you wanted to go super supporty, I think you can take Inspiring Banners and just run the 3 banners and do a lot for your team. As far as utilities go, the idea behind this build is that you're going to be either the only warrior in your group because you're doing a record run, so you're going to be responsible for both banners, or you're going to be in a pug where who knows what the heck the other people in the group are taking, so you're going to want to bring both banners. Having access to both banners is giving your team additionally humongous buffs. Banner of Discipline works out to be something crazy like 15 to 20% DPS boost for your whole team. Banner of Strength a little bit less, more like 6 to 9. But still together, just having access to these two is going to make your DPS for your total team go way over the top, as anyone who plays Warrior knows. And this build is about basically boosting your team to the limits of what they can handle. Overall, build is pretty straightforward, and if you've ever played a warrior build, you're just going to attack with axe. Stuff's going to die. You're going to dish out pretty decent DPS. Not nearly as good as the meta build, but still respectable personal DPS. And whatever you lose in personal DPS, you're going to gain by the buffs that you bring to your party, such as Empower Allies and the banners, and even there you could switch to Signet of Fury to give you even more DPS if you don't need Fury from anyone else, so you can get up to 92% chance to crit. Pretty strong. I didn't really want to go into a super long guide about this. I just wanted to put this out there so that people could have it. If you're bored with the meta build, you want to try something else, you pug a lot, or you're one of guilds that are looking for the best build that they can have on the warrior they want to bring to their party to try and do speedruns, this is the build that you want to do. I'm sure a bunch of people are going to have questions, so if you would like to ask me a question, hit me up in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer as best I can. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.